Question 2, Margaret Smith.
To ask the Scottish Executive what action it is taking to ensure a fair deal for members of the public seeking compensation payments for the impacts of the proposed fourth replacement crossing.
Stewart Stevenson.
Provisions will be included in a forthcoming bill which will set out proposals for compensation arising from the construction and operation of the fourth replacement crossing, which will follow the provisions already approved by legislation for other public works.
The Minister will accept this is a very complex matter and one that is causing concern among constituents, particularly those who have received letters this week so their properties can be added to the book of reference. Could I bring the following issues to his attention? Delays in the land manager getting back to residents and compensation information only going to certain residents, concerns about the levels of professional fees covered by an out-of-date scale, home loss payments that are less than English equivalents, inability to secure lawyers with relevant experience because they are already in conflict of interest situations, concern that general advice isn't covered, and professionals unwilling to act for people until the bill is published. Is the Minister willing to meet with myself and other local representatives to discuss these and other concerns raised by our affected residents? And will the Minister guarantee that all affected local residents should be sent a copy of Transport Scotland's guidance on compensation, not just those who have previously registered with Transport Scotland?
Minister.
The member raises quite a wide range of issues, and I think it would probably be helpful if I say I am of course able to make myself available to meet herself and representatives from her constituency, and be happy to do that in the usual way through my private office. I think it is worth saying that it is a complex project, that Transport Scotland and the managers involved in this have made very substantial efforts. I think we've seen newsletters going right round many of the local communities. But if there are further ways in which we can improve our interaction with the community, I am of course very happy to help and assist the member and her constituents.
McNulty.
Can I just press the Minister for a bit more detail? Can he quantify the number of residents who it is anticipated will be directly affected and could potentially have grounds for seeking compensation from the government as a consequence of the impact of the proposed fourth replacement crossing scheme? Can he identify how much has been set aside in terms of financial contingency for home loss payments, and the amount that would need to be set aside if home loss payments were to be paid at the same level as they are south of the border?
Minister.
On home loss payments, the member will recall that this has been the subject of discussion in the Chamber previously. We do not have plans to revise the numbers. What it would do, of course, if we were to raise to the levels in England, it would take a very substantial amount of monies out of the social housing budget, so that is one reason why we will not do that. As to the number of residents, we will, of course, up to the point where we introduce the bill related to the fourth replacement crossing, continue to refine the design. So therefore, at this stage, it would be inappropriate to speak of specific numbers of residents. But one of the factors we are applying in going forward with the design is to seek to minimise the number of people that are affected. And at the same time, as I said to the previous questioner, Mrs Smith, that we will seek to communicate with a wide range of people, the majority of whom will not fall within the range of people who will directly be affected.
Gavin Brown.
Thanks, Presiding Officer. I think the Minister's answer to Margaret Smith was helpful in general terms, but on the specifics of the compensation document, thus far it has only been sent to those on the Transport Scotland database. Is he willing to give a commitment today that that document, given its complexity, should go directly to every potentially affected household?
Minister.
I suspect, I will certainly look at the suggestion, but I do exercise some caution in saying that. Mr Brown correctly referred to the complexity of the document, and I think if we were to send it, for example, to every resident of the South Queensferry, that would be unnecessary in terms of the administration, but more fundamentally would perhaps bring alarm to many people for whom this document will not have much relevance. But I will engage with my officials and discuss that subject further.